and when he said this man is a guru, and I suddenly was electrified knowing that I suddenly need a guru. And in that time I didn't speak much English. So to speak to a guru I needed a translator. And this was our guide, who was instructed in Yugoslavia not to bring members of the group in touch with any religion and any spiritual matters and so on. So when I asked him to take me to him and introduce me to this gentleman, he didn't want to do it. But the name of this gentleman was Shyam Das. But he was a guru. Because he was a guru, he knew what my desire was, although he was sitting very far away. He couldn't hear our conversation. Suddenly he got up and came to our group and spoke to everybody there. He was managing this hotel. And he introduced himself and spoke about everyone in each of us the way never ever anybody else spoke to any of us. And he brought up the main and the most important characteristic of every single person in the group. He left me for last, to speak to me last. And then he spoke about 15 minutes. And he told me all about my past, and he indicated some things and events in the future. But this was so unusual, and he was saying how I will many times come back to India. And he said I will come next year in May. And I said, what for would I be coming back? He said, you will come to see me. In that very moment I thought, this is a little bit too much. What I would be coming here to see this old Indian man. I didn't have any clue what can possibly be the reason. And I thought he is just old and he is talking nonsense basically. And he said, you come tonight, there will be some performance in the hotel, and I will tell you the most important part of your life, which would start maybe just now, 2015. And this was and then I came back exactly a year after, not knowing what brought me and how it was possible for me to travel to India so often, almost every year. And then he gave me, at that time I was already having a lot of problems as a journalist, as journalists do have today. And I wanted to escape and to leave this difficult job, but I didn't see how to do it. And then he gave me a picture of one old man. He took it out of his inner pocket of his little coat, which you can see on this picture. And he said, whenever you have some difficulties, just talk to this man on this picture. He will help you. And when I came back, there were all again the same harassment, the same blame game, and all unacceptable expectation for an honest journalist. And out of lacking any other idea, out of inability to resolve the situation, out of my impotence, I started to speak to this picture. This man on the picture was called Shirdi Baba. He was very recognized and appreciated big saint in India. And I talked to him, and suddenly everything changed. All situation in my office has changed. People have gotten different positions. They just things turned around 180 degrees. And when I came to him next time, and then we were in correspondence for a year. Every month I got letter from him, and I could write to him, ask him questions about wisdom of life, which I did not have at that time. I presume, about 33, 35 years old. And he said, when I came next, he said, now when you go to Bangalore, go and find Sai Baba. He said, I have taught you everything what I could. Now you know enough to go and meet Sai Baba himself. I said, whom I'm going to meet? But he never wanted to repeat his name, because Baba's name was so great and so holy and so precious to him that he would never mention his name in vain. So then I was in group of 3 that very time, and we did go to, among other places, to Bangalore, and just for one day, one night in Bangalore, and then we already had tickets to go to Madras or Chennai now, the next day. And when we were traveling in taxi around Bangalore, I saw a picture of a man with big bushy hair in orange robe, very outstanding, very different. Never ever I saw another human being like that. And I asked to the taxi driver, who is this man? He said, this is very big saint who lives here near, he lives about 5 hours by taxi in one small village called Puttaparthi. I said, unfortunately, we don't have 5 hours to go there and 5 hours back, because we already have a ticket for tomorrow morning to go to Chennai. And as Indian taxi drivers are very witty, he said, madam, but maybe he is here. He has another residence here, just 30 minutes by taxi away from traveling from